Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the Qentinel Pace April 2021 release stream. Hopefully, I got the year right. The last year has kind of disappeared somewhere, so sometimes I miss the year and label it as 2020. Welcome everybody. What today's topics are, we're going to go discuss, as always, the new features that we are putting into Qentinel Pace, covering some of the general topics around the product, and giving you a sneak peek on what's to come and what's the next hot thing that we'll be bringing out from the release pipeline. So you get a sneak peek on what's going on, and you get the chance to ask questions about these features and be the first ones to see what's going on in here and be the first ones to leverage them then on your productions or your testing environments and what we're going to see. We're going to have some great topics today. We're going to have how to best measure DevOps, quality intelligence. This is something that we've been working on a lot, which is not directly testing, but it's about quality intelligence and quality. How do you measure all of that? That's basically what you're doing with testing. You want to know what the quality of your software release is. So that's something that we've been working on a lot, and now you're going to get to see that. Second is, of course, artificial intelligence. Everybody's doing it, and we've actually done something really great here. How to do tests. We've actually done self-healing tests when SUT changes that you can then leverage to really ease up on the maintenance that you do. We have performance change detection, which is something that helps us to detect if changes are going on in the performance of your tests. It will really help you catch up some bugs before they actually even happen and actually hit the actual bug phase, so you can preemptively fix something. And fourth, we have some user interface updates that we're going to do to Pace to make it even easier to use and the best platform to use in cloud testing. And last but not least, there might be the Slack notifications that we've been talking about that we promised 2 months ago, but we didn't deliver last month. But they're in there now, so you get a sneak peek of those also. And I just realized it's actually May, not April, what I said. So that happens. So welcome. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get all the information as fast as possible, and also hit on subscription so you can see all the great features coming in and join us on the stream. You can use the YouTube chat to talk to us, and we can actually put up and take up all the comments and questions from there, take them to the stream and answer all of your questions. But now, after all of that housekeeping, we can go directly into the day's agenda. Demo 1 for how to best measure DevOps, quality intelligence of DevOps. Before the demo, we're going to have Juha-Markus come in and join us on the stream. Juha-Markus is our development lead and been one of the guys working on this feature quite a lot, and we've done quite a lot of content around this topic. Welcome, Juha-Markus.
Hello, thanks.
Hello, thanks, and welcome to the stream. How are you?
Fine. It's Friday and demo day, and we have quite cool stuff coming, as we just see. So looking forward to those.
Yeah, so quality intelligence for DevOps. You can give me, I know what this means, but our watchers and viewers don't probably know what this means. So can you give a quick intro on the topic?
Yeah, long story short, it's an analytics solution for measuring DevOps, so the whole cycle of that. And we'll see that in shortly. So it's not just like measuring quality, but it's measuring the actual process and all steps around it that kind of contributes to the value that DevOps creates. So very strong focus on value creation.
Yeah, and Juha-Markus is no slouch in this field. You've been involved in a couple of podcasts about the topic on what to measure in DevOps. You've been involved in developing the quality intelligence model on that and the DevOps model on that and what to measure there. And I think some of the interest now is in flow framework. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's actually like so we have used the DevOps best practice for measurement, but also now this flow framework is something we've been using ourselves for more than a year, and it helps you to understand like your distribution of efforts. That are you putting enough efforts to paying technical depth and dealing with bugs and security issues in addition to actual features.
Yeah, and this is actually something that came up is that we are actually using this by ourselves. So we are dogfooding this solution. So
big time.
Yeah, developing it and creating it and using it in Pace to test Pace deployment. So that's next level stuff. So
one reason why this is now recorded is also that we have now actually the data we are showing is nearby the very release that we released this update.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll give the floor to Juha-Markus. Thanks for the intro, and you can go ahead and demo the feature. I understand you have a video.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Juha-Markus Aalto. At Qentinel, I'm leading the product development and operations team.
I'm going to introduce you to the Quality Intelligence for DevOps of Qentinel Pace. It's a new cloud-based analytics solution that allows Pace users to measure and optimize DevOps. My team has used this for some years already, and now we have made this available for all. Measuring is an essential part of DevOps, but still many wannabe DevOps teams don't do that. We want to provide a solution for these three challenges. We want to minimize the costs and time for setting up a measurement system. I have witnessed one large-scale software organization spending close to 1 million euros in building software metrics dashboards. Quality Intelligence for DevOps is included in Qentinel Pace subscriptions. You can generate the essential metrics based on Agile, DevOps, and Flow framework best practices with one click. There are also no-code integrations called pull services available to pull data from the most popular DevOps tools, such as Azure DevOps and Jira. You can start measuring on day one. Secondly, finding actionable DevOps metrics is not easy. Qentinel has pioneered in using system dynamics modeling to predict quality of information systems. That system model is called value creation model, and we have applied that patented method for modeling DevOps and predicting its outcomes. This unique approach allows you to find actionable leading indicators for the DevOps goals, so flow of value and quality. Third issue is information overload. Colorful graphs may look nice, but what if you have 30 or 100 of them? Qentinel Pace can present a summary of everything in one screen. It provides a unique metrics tree concept which allows for hierarchy presentation of metrics. You can also compare and aggregate metrics of any kind, as normalized index values are calculated for the metric values. You can kind of compare apples to oranges. So for instance, conclude whether test pass rate is more off the target than overbugs. Now, let's have a look at the DevOps value creation model. This is the DevOps value creation model. We have modeled the DevOps cycle as an infinity loop where we plan a bunch of features, build them, integrate and test, and then deploy to production, where we operate the new release. We want to learn from each cycle around this loop. The model is based on the downward spiral in IT and how DevOps can break it, as presented in the DevOps handbook, and on the flow framework principles. The goals of DevOps are to accelerate the flow of value while maintaining high quality in use. The model shows the key factors affecting those goals and assumes causalities among them. The most important causality chains are called value paths, and there are two of them here. Path of quality and path of flow velocity. They can be used for finding the leading indicators that have a positive or negative impact to your goals. Blue arrows in the picture denote positive assumed causality. So for instance, when velocity increases, so does the flow of value. A red arrow means that the variables move to the opposite direction. The higher is technical depth, the lower is velocity. As we will see shortly, we can organize the metrics on the value paths as metric trees that allow us to measure the DevOps goals and the leading indicators. This is the Quality Intelligence for DevOps dashboard, or example of it. Actually, this is our own team's dashboard that we are using. And the data is also real. On top, we have the key indices, like quality in use and flow of value, which are the two goals of DevOps that we want to optimize. And of course, we want to track release quality, so the ongoing release that we are going to push out soon. It should have 100 as an index value to be on our target level. Release quality is on red, so we want to now look deeper what's going on there. We have now organized this as a metrics tree, so we can open the next set of metrics by just clicking the release quality. And what we can see here is test passes are actually okay. This red one, again, the red color is as such explains what the problem is. So there's a one critical defect. So only one, but I have configured the metric so that even if you have one showstopper metric, then the index goes 0. And as we now average the index out of these three metrics, we get this 72.993 as index value for the release quality. So again, now we immediately know what we need to do. we need to fix this bug. Same way you can open like a flow of value metrics, flow velocity deployments commits that you have there, and study those, and it can be like as many hierarchies as you want. If you have more metrics, you can do that. In our dashboard, I also want to have visible, because this is now on our screens when we work at the office, also the production test pass rates, so that immediately see visually how it's going. Of course, there is also an index, but also the QA, so the test pass rates of that. But it is very useful to see this overview of how your pass rates are going. We have also like then various graphs. So I said this is now like a sufficient overview of everything. But just following the value creation model, other items, we do track like flow velocity, how many features, bug fixes, and risk items and technical debt items we deliver every month. Commits, we don't have any target setting for those, but it's just like a given overview of activity in a team. And same goes for pull requests, so like how many features we are delivering, to name a few. I will now show how to create DevOps metrics from scratch. We start with a template. We select the project, select create, and here we have the metrics tree. Now you can configure the target values for the metrics as you want, and you just turn on the required pull services to pull the data from external systems. Then you place the metrics to dashboards, and you're done. It's like that. The benefits of quality intelligence for DevOps are that it is free for Qentinel Pace users. You can start measuring on day one. You will get truly actionable insights on DevOps, and all the essential data can be summarized on one screen. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Juha-Markus, for the video live demo that we did. We now have a hybrid video demo going on here. But I think one interesting question that came into my mind was that now that you showed this video of what we've been doing previously, is what do you think we've actually, or you've actually got good use of out of this Qentinel QI for DevOps platform?
For the quality part of that, if you think these two DevOps goals, it's definitely like tracking these large. So we have now once a month these large releases, every last Thursday of the month. So tracking the release for those, that's definitely the thing that I know the maturity in one place. Go to one place and see what's going on. For the speed, like a flow of value point of view, then it's really kind of seeing the signals that if we are slowing down, like the leading indicators for those, like too many bugs or the flow load increasing.
Yeah, and also we've been talking more about this topic on our actual podcast, Code Sauna, where we had an episode about measuring DevOps, and I think we can put that link into the YouTube chat, so you can go check it out if the topic is something that interests you guys even more. One thing that piqued my interest was that everything is kind of indexed, and you're calculating an index to all of these different values that we're doing there. Is there like potential for machine learning applications and that kind of stuff in there?
Yeah, so I think many machine learning guys obviously start thinking that when you see this value creation model, so it kind of now really models the assumed causalities among the metrics. So it's obviously that's the way we're going. And I guess you, Henry, actually have already had some ideas on that front.
Yeah, maybe that I've been involved in developing
slightly, yes. Slightly, yeah, but anyway, obviously that's now in that agenda.
Yeah, and also like something that is of interest there is we've done a lot of stuff relating to machine learning and AI now in this month, and you're gonna see some more cool stuff about that. And now I gotta push the schedule a little bit. Thanks, Juha-Markus, for that. If you're interested in this topic, check out the podcast, check out all the stuff that we have on our blog, and we have more stuff coming about the metrics. Thank you, Juha-Markus. Okay, next we have even more artificial intelligence that we have. How do test cases heal when the SVG changes. So we've been doing a lot of work on self-healing tests and how to integrate that and really ease up the maintenance in there so we can detect these kind of changes. To talk about this, we have Kimmo, who's joining us on stream.
Howdy there, Henry.
Howdy, Kimmo. It's soon going to be summer. Do you have a ranch or something like that where you can spend it?
Apparently.
Okay. I'm going to give the floor to Kimmo, and he can tell you more about this self-healing capabilities. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Henry, for the intros, and really excited to be here. Once again, my name is Kimmo, and I'm today presenting a solution to a problem that we commonly face as part of typical test and software development process. Our application is changing, so our test needs to change as well. What happens is that we run into test failure during test execution, and sort of typical cause of test failure is something like a change in the UI, which cannot be handled by the tests. So now I'm talking about today presenting self-healing concepts, and this concept refers to automation that adapts test automatically to the changes in the application. Now, Qentinel Pace approaches self-healing from a couple of different directions. So on first level, we have the libraries that we are using in the test during the test execution, these password libraries, where we apply sort of quite hidden from the user. We apply quite a few sort of strategies in the resolution. So for example, when you're clicking some sort of item there, there is a quite a lot of machinery and computational power behind the sort of strategies that aim to figure out that what is the thing that you are there touching. There's a fallback mechanism there as well. Now, if you have sort of non-trivial UI changes or logical changes in the application, then we apply the next level of healing process, and we move to what is called live testing in the Pace family, where we are on live testing against the application, and we are applying machine learning, artificial intelligence algorithms to actually detect the most probable action to take in cases of a failure. So let's see how this works now in practice. I have opened here an example test case to the Pace editor. We recall from the earlier demos that the test cases in Qentinel Pace are defined using this extremely intuitive and easy to understand keyword-driven syntax. The syntax is actually directly from the robot framework. I move to live testing perspective, and I start the execution of my test case here. And in the test case, what I'm doing is that I'm using Salesforce application, where I'm adding a new lead to the system. And adding a new lead involves clicking through some links and filling in forms. We are filling, for example, here live, we are filling in the name of the lead. And now at the end of the script, I'm attempting to indicate the size of the company, the sort of magnitude of the company in some way. Now the problem is that application has changed, and there no longer is anything related to company size. So now what happened there is that there was a test execution failure as indicated on top of the screen, and then we ran this machine learning algorithm that now aims to infer the actual intent of the failed step, and then figure out that what is the best possible fix for your failed step. So what we are doing is that we are indeed doing sort of semantic analysis. We are trying to figure out the intent of the original step. And as I'm trying to fill in information about the company size, the algorithm then tries to figure out that what semantically the closest matches company size. So when we look at these suggested fixes, sort of company and industry, well, they have a strong semantic correlation with company size, obviously. But then immediately after that, we see number of employees and a company size. If you think about it, they have very strong semantic relationship. And this is actually what I wanted to say there in my test case, that the number of employees in my company is around 100. And even if you look at the last fix suggestion there, we are talking about annual revenue. And again, revenue has some sort of semantic relationship with the company size, because often these things go hand in hand. So there is, even to tactics, there is a semantic relationship. So as we have identified now the semantic relationship, we can select an item out of suggested fix. We can press the green button, which now directly updates my script here on the left-hand side, and then I can execute the steps. Congratulations, we have now healed the test case automatically, and the test case has ended. That's short and sweet how test healing works in Pace. Thanks. Back to you, Henry.
Okay, back to us. I'd say I had some questions in my mind. What are you wearing? I have some proper questions as well. So as you said that it's not based on text matching or anything like that. Is it actually, like, as you said, true semantic matching and not like text pattern matching?
Yeah, there is absolutely no string matching going on there. This is hardcore machine learning semantic sort of relationship between these concepts, and we are doing this sort of inference. So that you don't need to have like similar kind of text pieces there. We indeed analyze the semantics of the text and base the healing on that.
Yeah. Oh. I think that's super cool, and I've never seen it done on like a platform level anywhere, I think.
Yeah.
I think so. And integrating it directly into the test management really will probably make this easier, and even testing Salesforce, which is like kind of like a difficult thing to test. Another question is that can we heal like cases that are a little bit ambiguous? That, for example, is that people have been using the wrong keyword, and maybe that makes it inconsistent, even though you proper fix would be to kind of use another keyword in there.
That's actually a very good question. Today, we don't have that. It's part of the roadmap, and we are pushing that in the product development, because this is like also a crucial piece of the overall puzzle. So it's even though that we have already strong foundation, we really want to make it even stronger and add more capabilities and features and powers to this. So it's part of the roadmap.
Yeah. And that roadmap is actually becoming public. I'll give you guys a link in the end of the stream that we are now doing a public roadmap of the like larger things and generic things that we are going to release. So you are also everybody on get the information on what's actually going on in there. Okay, thanks Kimmo for that great demo. This is good stuff, really good stuff. We're gonna go into the next machine learning topic that we have, has been doing quite a lot of this. Performance change detection. This is a bit of an interesting title. Unfortunately, Leo, who's cannot speak even anymore as I'm speaking so fast. Unfortunately, Leo couldn't join us today, so we also have a video from Leo about the performance change detection. And after this, we're going to have a discussion with Juha-Markus about the features as well. Okay, let's go into the video about performance change detection and what it is.
Hi, my name is Leo, and I'm going to show you some of the test result data analytics capabilities in Qentinel Pace. Our motivation is to provide a rich test automation user experience in Qentinel Pace with various user-assisting analytics features that utilize data from previously executed test suite runs. Today, I'm going to talk about change and anomaly detection in test results, or more specifically, detecting changes in response times. Regression testing aims to detect when a previously developed feature is not working anymore. Let's imagine we have a regression test suite with multiple test cases. What if a test case that is testing a business-critical functionality of an application, say for instance login functionality, suddenly takes twice the time to execute? Single occurrences of such events may be explained by fluctuations that are caused by network traffic or system load, for instance. But if the change turns out to be permanent, it could indicate that there might be an increase in the response time of the application login functionality. Since these types of changes might also affect users of the application, this is most likely something that should be detected and investigated further. As a test suite may have tens to even hundreds of test cases, inspecting the duration of each test case manually by a human is not a plausible option to do on a regular basis. There needs to be an automatic mechanism for detecting such changes. In statistical literature, detecting changes in a time series signal is often referred to change point detection. The goal of change point detection is to detect points where the signal properties change abruptly. A level shift is a special type of a change point where the mean or average of the signal shifts up or down. On the right-hand side of the slide, you can see the yearly volume of the River Nile in Aswan. There is a change point in the year 1898 where the river volume shifted lower because a dam was built. In the context of test cases, consecutive passing executions of a test case are considered a time series signal. We have implemented a test case duration change point detector into Pace, which scans through the history of each test case when a test suite execution has finished. If a change is detected, it will be reported to the user as an alert in the Pace UI. On the top right corner of the slide, you can see the execution history of an actual test case. On the bottom right corner is the same time series signal created from that test case. Next, I will show you how this functionality works in the Pace UI. I have created a test suite which is based on our starter suite. This suite already has some past test execution runs available and is scheduled to run every minute. Let's assume that I would like to start using test case duration change detection for this test suite. When you navigate to the suite settings, there's an analytics settings section. The analytics settings are currently visible for beta users only, so please enable beta features in your user profile to use this feature. Let's tick the checkbox and save the settings to activate the detection functionality. Let's open Pace Editor and add a 5 seconds delay to one of the test cases so that it suddenly starts taking longer to execute. I'll save the file to apply my modifications. Note that the change will not be detected immediately, since there will need to be more runs to make the change statistically significant. After some runs of the suite, there's an alert next to the duration of one of the runs. When hovering over the alert, you can see that it is reporting a detected change in the duration of one test case. In the results section, There's also an alert next to the shop for products test case, which I added the delay into. Hovering over the alert displays the estimated date of the detected change and some additional useful metadata about how the average test case duration has changed. If I did not know about the delay that I added, I would now start investigating the reason for this change. In summary, the test case duration change detection feature can be utilized in regression test suites for detecting changes in the response times of applications. Using the information obtained from detecting such changes, potential user-impacting response time regressions can be detected and in the best case even prevented from reaching production environments. The statistical time series analysis-based change point detection in Pace enables high detection precision with minimal to no manual work required by humans. Thank you for watching.
And thank you, Leo, for the video. And I think this is something super interesting, as this adds value to every single test case that we are already building in there, and you don't have to do anything extra, basically. The platform is taking care of that kind of a detection for you. And talking more about this feature with me is here's Juha-Markus again.
Yeah, so this is how technology should be like. So you only turn it on and you get the alerts that something is wrong.
Yeah, and kind of, as you said, zero, well, not zero inconvenience, but you have to go turn it on. Yet still, it's now beta, but of course, we're probably pushing it in production, then it will be always on. So that's something that might happen in the future, and then it's zero inconvenience for you guys to actually get this kind of additional value. And I think that's what technological innovation is about, getting more convenience with zero invested effort, I think, is the right way to say it.
Actually, I meant turn on in test suite, but anyway. Typically, when you talk about performance testing, it means load testing, and that's what you need to do when you do full-blown performance testing. Agreed, but that's very complicated, requires special skills. So then the alternative seems to be, for many teams, they don't do anything on topic. But in a way, you get this for free on the platform.
Yeah, that's actually true. That now basically every single test case that you have is also a performance test in your application.
Yeah.
You immediately notice that if the performance of your application is changing, you don't have to do separate performance tests. And I think that's world-class big, that what you can do with this kind of technology, even though it's kind of a simple thing.
Yeah, and you can also use this in production if you see it. And there, it might be infrastructure is slowing you down. So maybe not the code bugs, but you would notice that if some login starts taking more and more time, so when your usage grows.
Yeah, and of course, our platform also supports RPA, so even RPA cases are supported, and you could do kind of like daily tests of your Salesforce or SAP to see if everything's working, and you immediately get notified if stuff starts like slowing down significantly.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, cool, I think. Yeah.
Anything else that springs up to mind on this this feature topic? I think it's terrific work.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's we can take the beta label out quite soon. So, but anyway, try it out.
Yep. Okay, thanks, Juha-Markus. I'm again going to go with the schedule, going to the next thing, which is my slide hasn't been changing. Who did that? Have the user interface updates, which I think is also super important on this topic of making our technology more and more convenient to use. And also, finally, we promised them last month, we have the Slack notifications to actually showcase in here. We are going to have Lovell from our development team come and show us the new stuff. Hi, Lovell. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. And I'll give the floor to you and show off all the nice UI work.
All right. Yep. Okay. Well, here's a quick slide just to touch upon what I would be talking about. I'll give you an overview of the Slack notification integration. Then we'll talk about the artifacts that we now store for the suite runs. Some updates about the suite detailed view that we have, and also some upcoming changes, and then some other small other updates which may help some people to work around. All right, so jumping straight to the notifications part of things. There's this notification button over here available in the suite card. When you click on it, you can add, edit, delete your notifications. I'm going to add a notification now. You can add email notifications. This was demoed the previous time. And for this demo, I'm going to use Slack. The trigger for this is I'm going to use when the execution starts, just in the interest of time, so that we don't have to wait for it to complete. And last, we have to add the Slack webhook URL. There's a link over here, which will take you straight to the page on Slack where it guides you through how to set this up. I'm also going to guide you through this setup process. So here's how you do it. If you have any existing webhooks, you can just click on this link and then go there and use the configuration. But in this case, I'm going to create a new Slack app. So I click on this. And yeah, so it takes me to this interface where I can create my app. I'm going to quickly create a new app. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to name this demo app. It asks you for your development workspace. So in this case, I'm going to use Qentinel. That's where I belong. And I'll say create app. Okay, so then you got to click on incoming webhooks. Okay, and just take some time for this button to show up. Yeah, so incoming webhooks are off. I turn it on, and then I need to add a new webhook to my workspace. It'll ask me for permissions. I'll just increase this font size so you guys can see what it shows. Okay, it'll ask me for a channel. I already created a channel for this. It's called this 0027 channel. Let me just pick the channel name and paste it into it. Okay, copy that and I'll paste it here. Okay, here's my channel and I'll say allow. Okay, so once this is done, you can go straight down here and copy the webhook URL. I clicked copy. I hope it's copied. I guess it is. Okay, well, it copied it now. And then you can paste your webhook URL over here. I click save. And I'll get a notification that the notification has been added. All right, so I'm going to click run now, and then I'll go to my Slack channel. And if you notice, I just got this notification right now over here that the run status can be monitored over here. So it's executing, and this is the notification that I set it for. So that's how you add your Slack notifications to the suite. Okay, going back to the suite now, after the test cases are run, you have this new icon over here, which takes you to the run artifacts. So you click on that. In this case, since there were no failing cases, we just have this output XML file. I have another test suite over here, which I made sure that one test case fails. If you go and check the artifacts over here, I also have like a screenshot of the failing case. So you can configure your test suites to store artifacts. And in this case, these are the default ones that are stored. And you can access them from here. So that's the artifacts for test suites. So remember, you can always find it with this button over here. The last thing that I want to touch upon is kind of a change, which is not that big, but it could be quite significant. We have these little suite detail buttons available here. So the existing UI always would have information about the suite that's available in the suite card, which is this thing over here. So if I wanted to know what branch my repository is using, I would see it here. If I wanted to jump to the repository, I had to use this link. But we never really had a view to see the details. The only way you could see it was if you click edit. But now if I click on suite details, I get a quick overview of the suite. So I don't really have to hunt around. So in this case, it's a very basic, simple test suite, which is I'm using GitHub to store our repository. So this information is available over here. At the same time, the variables and execution parameters that you have configured for the suite will be shown on a card over here. Depending on the suite configuration, there may be more cards that show up over, depending on what are the settings you have. So I'll just click Edit Suite. And this is the form that existing users would be used to. So this is where the information is available. You have the suite name, etc. We have moved the variables and execution parameters out of this form because it was getting like kind of huge. And so to keep things simple, we have this as a separate card. Eventually, this is going to move out from the suite edit form and be on the suite details page. So, but that would be maybe after a couple of releases till everybody gets accustomed to that. So now you don't really have to edit your suite if you're editing these parameters. You can just go here, click, I'll say, let me just add a new execution parameter called like foo bar, and I'll just save it directly. I don't really have to edit my suite. If I go and check my suite details, my parameters are all organized over here. I can even edit it from here directly. I don't have to like go and edit my suite. So this will be the place where this resides eventually. Okay, so that was regarding the suites. And then at the end, I have a little kind of two smaller updates about inviting users and also the quick search. So you can now invite users to your organization from, like we've added these buttons around the UI. There's the invite user option here on the home page. If you are inside one of your projects, so if I'm in my project details page, there's an option to invite the user from here. And then also if you can go to the user page, which is under your organization, but you can use these buttons to quickly, just click on this and add the user's email ID. I'm going to skip this step and just invite the user to your organization. The last thing is the search option, which we have added a few releases back. I'm not sure if it's used that much, but it's a really nice feature if you just want to jump to things around on the interface, because you don't really have to hunt for things. So if I'm interested in my billing details, I can just come here and search for billing and then jump to billing. And here I have my billing information. Let's say I want to even invite a user. I can search for invite, and then I can invite the user. And then if I want other options, they are listed here, but of course you can just search for it. We are still building and trying to improve on this. So as we move forward, we'll have more things to search for and more features that can be found by quickly searching instead of having to know where exactly to click and go around. And with that, I'm done with what updates I had. There's nothing more.
Okay, thank you, Lovell. And I'm even going to say that the two small updates is that inviting new users to your organization quick search, those are actually, I think, quite nice improvements to the actual flow of the whole application. Not really small at all, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they were like smaller ones, as in which the impact may be bigger eventually.
Yeah, and now we got the Slack notifications also done, which I think Jukka promised on stream 2 release streams ago. They said that we have these email notifications now, and we'll be doing Slack notifications next month. And now we've done them because of that.
Yeah, the Slack notification was all Jukka's work. I'm actually just demoing it. So if anybody wants to thank anyone, please send your greetings to Jukka.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Lovell. And let's go to the next topic. We have Q&A. Just quickly going through, we had one question in the YouTube comments section about can those artifacts be accessed in page runs and used, for example, in RPA. I think all the artifacts that are in the store that is in there can be accessed and can be used in runs. Basically, I'm not 100% sure how nice the way to access them is, but they are all kind of like artifact objects which you can access. So I think that should be doable. I'm not promising anything. I'll have to check and get back to this actually, so to make sure that it is. But you can always get the artifacts down there and then incorporate them through some scripting at least. And I think we have no other questions in the chat. So I'm just going to quickly share something after the Q&A, which is about the roadmap. That typically we had some roadmap slides here, but now what we've actually done is we put the roadmap public. Can I get the sharing of that? So Qentinel Pace roadmap. And we're actually sharing this now in our support forums for everybody to see. And I think Annika can put a link into the YouTube chat to access this document. There will be showing up what we are planning to do in the next I think it's half a year at least, some of the sprints that we are developing in there and what you can expect to see on the release streams and what kind of support we're doing. Of course, we're doing a lot of stuff around this, and this might, of course, change when circumstances change, but this is the kind of, you can get some idea on our long-term plans for the actual platform, and it's all public. And of course, you can comment on this, as it's on our support platform. You can go in and comment, and we'll take a look at your comments and evolve the roadmap based on that. But I think we're running a bit out of time, so just getting the contact information out there. If you have any questions, you can contact either me directly to henry.qentinel.com or our info email, which reaches all of us, so you can get questions answered also in there. And remember to subscribe to the channel to get all the notifications through here. And Pace is free to use. You can access the free trial from there and test out all of these new features that we've been talking about and see how well it fits you. It's free to use, 60 minutes of free runtime for every month in perpetuity, so you can easily build up small test cases in there and code test it out. Thank you, everybody, and have a good Friday.